Sudden death! Go!
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the Project Manga Podcast. I'm Noxie.
I'm Kiko.
Eagle.
And Nickums.
And we are back with the tie-ins revisiting Anime versus Battles Volume 2. Met again with Big Shnoody. How are you doing, bro? Thanks for joining us.
What's good? I'm glad to be back.
Hell yeah, man.
Love
So
this shit.
for those of you who weren't here last time, this is the second iteration of this conversation. We're looking at hypothetical fiction fights, part 2. I'll put the link for the first episode that we did for that down in the description. Also, that's where you're going to see our link tree, where you can see us on all of our other online communities, social media platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, what have you. And also put Shnoody's channel down in there. He has his own channel for thematic analysis and explanations for power systems inside of anime and manga. So,
All you morons out there.
yeah, power systems for dummies. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and throw that down in the description for you guys. But getting into the topic at hand, the philosophy behind this conversation is just the age-old question of who would win in a fight. We grabbed two characters from two different series and we put them into a clash of the titans, so to speak. And basically, we kind of like handle it a little bit more unorthodox than usual, you know, power scaling conversations that have kind of like taken over this topic in recent times. We're not physicists. We're literally just nerds trying to have any kind of resemblance to what it was like back in the day before all of this power scaling nonsense started. And just trying to find out, hey, what would happen if X and X got into a fight? You remember those conversations. You know what I mean? There wasn't any math.
Oh, yeah.
There wasn't any, you know what I mean? There wasn't any speed of light. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't any of that shit, you know, like going on, at least not to the same degree. So we kind of want to like recreate that atmosphere. And we did a really good job, I feel like, last time. So if you haven't peeped part 1, definitely do that at some point. But getting into it now, we got some picks that we want to get into here. Who wants to start it off?
I'll go ahead.
Okay. You weren't here last time.
I wasn't. That's why I want to go ahead. All
Let's
right.
get
Well, I want to start pretty big here. And if you have already seen the thumbnail here, this is going to be the thumbnail. And it is Chisaki, aka Overhaul, versus Edward Elric.
Yes, sir.
And the reason I chose this matchup here is obviously Overhaul's quirk is basically alchemy, right? Like
yeah.
he's manipulating matter. He's got a couple extra rules that make him a little bit, I feel like, a little bit more broken in some ways, but yeah, so it's a really good matchup. I feel like they're both like roughly the same area, you know, physically, you know, speed, strength, feats, what have you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I picked them.
I feel like we see them do like pretty much the exact same thing throughout the series. Like
Kinda.
they have like the
It's
exact
like-
same fighting style.
Yeah.
I mean, like you see Edward like make like weapons and shit, like, you know what I mean, like lances and you know,
like
swords
swords
and shit like coming out of his gauntlets and shit.
And I think that's the difference too, because like Chisaki can use his quirk on people and he can actually, you know, like disassemble and reassemble living matter.
Yeah.
Where alchemists can't really do. They can kind of.
Yeah, they got those.
Supposed to do that, you know. And Edward has, you know, automail, you know, arm and leg that he's transmuting. He's not transmuting his actual physical body.
Right.
Where Chisaki can actually like merge with another fucking person and use their quirk too. Chisaki's cold blooded.
And I feel like that's.
I love. He's an awesome character.
He is, and I feel like that might be the difference here. I mean, like obviously there's no one else like really involved in the fight because it's 1v1. But I feel like just like he has like a wider range with less rules as to like what he can like deconstruct and like transmute. And heal himself is the big one,
because he doesn't need to have a whole philosopher's stone on his body just to regenerate or anything. He just has to grab somebody like, oh yeah, I'm feeling peachy keen over here.
Yeah.
Well, and there's no channeling time either. Like he can pretty much instantly just like just start cracking shit off.
And I'm pretty sure his healing works
for the most part.
Yeah, and Ed has a really low channeling time too. But I feel like Chisaki, can't he like just reset himself, blow himself up, bring himself back to 100%?
Yeah.
Isn't that how his healing kind of like works? I can't remember exactly like what the dialogue on it was, but
It's very
I don't
similar
know,
to Josuke's stand too.
The one thing I would question is like maybe his torso.
Yeah,
I would say maybe his torso. I think his arms and legs would be fine.
Can he disassemble his vital organs and stay alive in that time?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
like
he can
we've seen him do it to his arms and shit that really doesn't matter as far as like keeping himself alive goes.
Yeah.
But like, could he disassemble his torso and all his organs in it and stay alive within that time?
I think maybe if he has like another person in the vicinity, but if not, then I don't think so.
If he's got like spare organic matter to use, I mean, I don't know. It seems like he can just,
so maybe he can only heal his extremities, really, at least handily on in a quick fashion in a fight.
Could he reorganize his torso to make like say Ed like makes a spear or something, you know, out of the sand like he does very early on in the series and throws it at him, you know? Could he reorganize his torso and move his organs around
to make a hole to dodge
through? To dodge, right?
That's a pretty big deal. Honestly,
I feel like that'd be a little risky for Overhaul though.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's a good question though. Honestly, I feel like the way that this fight would go would be like they square up. Edward doesn't have any idea of what this dude's power is, but it looks really similar to his. So like obviously Chisaki's gonna start using like area of effect, like huge AoE spikes, like he did, like we've seen him do. Edward can easily deal with that and retransmute, like and counter transmute.
Like do the same. They would hit each other.
But then when it came into like a close quarter situation, I feel like Ed wouldn't know that he could literally just evaporate him with a touch. Yeah. And I feel like that's like what it comes down to is Edward not having like all of the information of how this man's quirk works and assuming that it works the same way as alchemy, because Edward doesn't just
he can though. That's what Scar does.
Yeah, that's what Scar does. That's what Scar does.
I feel like because he would see Chisaki using it, basically looks like alchemy without a circle, just like Ed can. One of the only people that can. You only can if you see the gate or whatever. It would feel very similar, where I don't know if he would let him get, because I mean, regardless, alchemy, even if you don't stop at step 2, which is the deconstruction, and then step 3 is reconstruction, which that's what Scar did to, it was like a loophole that, you know, he could still be, you know, whatever, uphold his faith, you know, and still use that because he wasn't completing the circle or whatever. But, I think that I don't know. I don't think they would want to get near each other.
You're right.
Actually, really, if they did, Edward's got weapons, you know, like he's using spears, he's using like knife on his, you know, so I don't know, like.
And I was gonna say that like Chisaki, like he also would approach Edward, and he doesn't know what alchemy is. He would assume he has a quirk. He would assume he has a quirk just like his. He wouldn't approach either.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're totally right. Wow.
Yeah.
So this would be just a ranged battle.
This is literally just like a mirror match, like ranged battle.
That makes me think though. I won't say that Edward has a higher mana pool than Chisaki. I would just say that quirks take more mana to use, you know, like
because they're like muscles,
you know,
right?
Yeah. And I feel like Ed would outlast him in an alchemy versus alchemy battle, because basically Ed's pulling from nothing, really.
Yeah, like he's not gonna get exhausted from doing his own thing. He's just gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because I feel like somebody of Chisaki's age, like we do get the info that you can strengthen your quirk and its like capacity and its limits.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody of Chisaki's age would have a pretty good mastery of their quirk and ability to like stretch it out. And I'll just say that like we never once got any dialogue from him that said like I'm getting tired.
Yeah, any of his like how
or like I'm not able to do what I was 5 minutes ago with my quirk. Like he was handling shit the whole time going off.
And in fact,
he was turning the whole room too.
The scale of his attacks were only increasing, and we got no dialogue of his stamina. And I feel like I remember like specifically inside of My Hero Academia that there are some people that like whose quirks like have really intense caveats that like you know that like clearly you can't use
high detriment on their body
and then some people just have like shit that they can spam, you know, with seemingly no exhaustion anywhere to be
no
seen.
repercussions like whatsoever.
You know, and you would think that a quirk like Overhaul's would be one that should have a very intense drawback to it.
You would think so.
Maybe not though, because the ones that we usually see that do have a really high and intense drawback, especially on your body, are ones that like utilize
Actual
or rather
body.
that put force on your body, like Bakugo's,
Yeah.
Todoroki's,
Yeah.
Midoriya's.
Yeah.
Something like Chisaki's, where you're really exerting force onto other shit, might not be that detrimental to your own body, unless maybe it's really detrimental to his own body in the case where he's disassembling himself.
Yeah.
That might be the only time where he's really.
But we see like
Makes
with
sense.
Uraraka, like it still kind of affects her when she's just affecting other shit.
Yeah.
Like when she's just like
Yeah.
grabbing rocks and making.
She gets
float,
really
she gets-
nauseous depending on how big what she's floating is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point, Schnoody. Well, who do you guys think would win it?
Initially, I was thinking Overhaul easy, but now I'm actually wondering if
I
he would
wanted
win.
to. I want to say
Yeah.
Ed because of like his close combat
The mana
abilities.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is for me. Is that I feel like they could stay ranged and
Right.
Ed would outlast him in a range battle.
I think Ed would outlast him in a range battle, but I feel like at some point during the fight he'd be like, "All right, well, fuck this. I'm gonna close the distance," and then
Yeah.
he's not gonna
Yeah.
think about the fact that like, yeah, I don't need a whole alchemist circle, like alchemical circle, just to do anything. I just grab you and grab by arm. You can't make any more circles. I'm gonna fucking kill you now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had another thought too. Like, so when it's been a while since I've seen or read Full Metal Alchemist, right? But like, does Ed, when he does his circle and he touches something, does he understand the physical, the chemical attributes of what he's touching? He kind of has
exactly.
to, right?
Yeah, he does.
100%.
He's
Because
like-
alchemists need to know that.
He's like Yaoyorozu.
Chisaki doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Chisaki does, yeah. And so I was thinking like Yaoyorozu needs to know that chemical composition.
Yeah.
We never had any exposition that Overhaul needs that, but could Ed mess with Overhaul by like
Yes.
Overhaul's gonna
You're
like try and
right.
change a wall into something, and Ed
I
will change
got-
it into a different material, and he'd be like, oh, what the heck? I'm
Yes,
confused,
yes.
you know?
Yes, that's exactly right. Because when Ed fights Scar, the first
Yeah.
time he fights Scar, Ed gets his arm blown up. But then the second time he fights him, he keeps changing it to different metals,
Yeah.
and fucking Scar can't blow it up because he doesn't know what it is.
Oh my
Yeah, that's-
god, bro.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
would that stop Overhaul?
Yeah,
You don't
because
think so?
we don't
I don't
have
know.
we don't
I don't
have
know.
You can disassemble
Yeah, it
anything
would-
regardless of the material.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
I think it would depend on
does
the
he
material
need
it
to
turns
know?
into, though.
Yeah. Because it's still like equivalent exchange. It's like Chisaki's not like making anything that's not there. He's using what's there and,
Yes.
and altering the composition, deconstructing and reconstructing to be
Yes.
whatever spears or whatever.
Exactly.
So-
Well, and just the fact that the precise control that he has at like such a range to where he
Yeah.
can have these spires coming out exactly where he wants, and like I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like at a range he definitely has an advantage.
Edward
I
needs
don't
both
know a
of his
whole lot
hands.
about Edward Elric.
Edward needs
You're right.
Edward needs both of his hands
And he has
too.
to-
and he has to
and-
he has to clap and then he has
There
to touch
is
the
more
thing.
channeling time for
Yeah,
sure
there's-
because Annie's holding the ground
Yes.
while things are happening too.
Yes.
So there is more channeling time for
So
sure.
there's more opportunities for
It's
Overhaul.
not much more, but it's
yeah,
more.
there's definitely. I mean, that's an advantage. An advantage is an advantage. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
and
Oh, yeah,
Overhaul,
oh, yeah, yeah.
Overhaul's
Definitely.
definitely experienced enough to be
Yeah.
able to detect that and find a way to exploit that. Because he literally just bink, like it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and
And
after
if
a couple
there's-
different exchanges, he's going to notice that Ed is doing the
He's
exact
gotta-
same thing over and over and over again. And I feel
He's gonna say every time you try and stance up, I'm gonna send a spire at your ass. And if you can't fucking clap them hands down, man.
yeah.
Like you just said, like it's the fact that like Overhaul can just make them shits appear anywhere he wants.
Yeah.
When Ed claps his hands and puts his hands on the ground, then like it has to go in that straight motion. It doesn't just appear underneath people usually.
Well,
I
yeah.
think-
And I won't even say that it can't appear underneath, but I remember seeing like where he would make shit kind of,
You
not
could see a
start right
clear
from with the
energy
hands.
path.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
an energy path
Yeah.
that has like a channeling time before
Yeah.
something would come out.
Yeah.
And Chisaki
Wow.
doesn't have that.
I feel
Chisaki
like
doesn't have that.
that's what
You're right.
decides it then, because like even though this is a very like close like mirror match, I feel like it's
the
going to come
channeling
down to
time.
those little like technical differences, and
Yeah,
it's
you're
just going to
probably
be
right.
like a like a Netero versus Meruem thing where you just lost it for a
Right.
half second. You had full control the entire time, but that half second that you weren't entirely focused 100% is going to be when a spire comes into the jugular. You know what I mean, and it's over with. So. Whew!
Yeah, as much
What a
as
fight, though.
Yeah,
That would be
as much
amazing.
as
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love Ed to use strategy to win, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
I really think
Yeah.
Chisaki has it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Agreed. And it's so crazy. Like this is a great pick because I definitely leaned towards Chisaki at first.
Yeah.
And then I was swayed towards Ed for a good part of this conversation. And they were like, no, it's Chisaki.
Right.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right. And this is kind of like what happened like last time on the first. It wasn't until I think like the fourth or fifth matchup where we started disagreeing with each other. But like, I think we're all in agreement here that Chisaki takes this.
That Chisaki would end up taking this in my opinion.
He's too seasoned.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. Yeah. But feel free to leave a comment down below and let us know if you agree or disagree or what other kind of thoughts you had going into the next. Going into the next fight
you're
here.
Wrong, but...
Yeah. Okay, so who wants to go next?
Let me go next because I also was not in the last video.
Yes, you were not.
Hell yeah.
I was on the team before, but let me get in here. So my first pick of the night is going to be some big boys, some beefy boys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Isaac Netero versus Edward Newgate, aka Whitebeard. And so, you know, like, why these two? You know what I mean? Like, they're both the old guard. They're both considered some of the strongest people on the planet in their respective universes.
Yeah, dude.
But they're both very old in age, you know, out of their prime.
Yes.
And super OP, both of them. So yeah, I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think of this one?
I feel like I feel like this is a very you know, common like speed versus strength kind of situation here.
Hold up now, don't sleep on the speed. Don't sleep on the speed of Edward Newgate.
Right now, I don't.
He did appear right behind the Kainu. Right?
No, I don't want to sleep on the speed of Mr. Newgate here, but like I just don't remember any like specific dialogue like hyping up his speed.
He's not.
That's why I'm saying it's speed versus
I punched a million
strength.
times.
It's not like
they didn't have to hype him up.
Gustava type shit.
Yeah. So like the reason why I said it's a speed versus strength kind of thing is because obviously Whitebeard is known for his world-breaking strength, and Netero is known for his sound barrier breaking speed. So I feel like this is really cool. I don't really know exactly like how I would approach, you know, the situation. I mean, like the one thing that kind of like comes to mind is that since Whitebeard is earthquake based, I'm pretty sure Netero like floats in the air like most of the time while he's fighting you, like with the 100 type. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's just because he hasn't hit the ground yet and he's just moving that fast. Like he jumps and then attacks, and that entire fight is just him falling. And he's just hitting you that many times. I don't know if it's something like that or if he actually does have some kind of like levitational aspect to his fighting style.
He seems to be in the air most of that fight.
Really definitely seems to be.
I mean, I'm gonna just say, like, okay, like obviously, if you go back in the history of the show, anytime Hunter comes up, I'm not saying as many words as Noxie and Kiko, and it doesn't mean that I don't like Hunter. I'm just not as big of a fan. Truly, I'm a One Piece stan.
Yeah,
but I really just don't see how fucking Whitebeard has a chance. I mean, if like.
How Whitebeard has a chance?
Yeah,
if he's just like really, dude. If fucking Netero starts getting serious with the Bucciarati shit, like we have no reason to think that Whitebeard can even keep up with that shit. Like,
does he have the damage to hurt Whitebeard though?
Does he?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I think it's a fair question.
Why are you looking so crazy?
Yeah.
Based off, I mean,
look at what we've seen. What it's taken to
the
damage
durability
Whitebeard.
of the king.
But Whitebeard just breaks the earth like shit. It's the whole shit.
And you want to know what?
Gustava's coming at him at the speed of sound.
And I would say he could deflect it.
Okay,
he could deflect it. Or
Whitebeard's ass is. The fuck is he doing? Like
okay,
we
look.
don't like. We have no observation hockey feats from Whitebeard. We have no observation hockey feats from Whitebeard.
Get out of here! You know he has it.
Yeah, you know he's in the upper echelon there.
He just fought Gold Roger. What are you talking about? They said both wound up hockey blasts on that ass. Like,
that's Conquerors, though, my guy.
Come on, man. All right, look.
He's got Conquerors, but he ain't got armament.
Unless he has future sight, I don't see it. And even then, speed is what beats it.
So here's the thing,
man.
Here's the thing, though. Like, okay, so obviously, like. Hunter x Hunter and One Piece are the two series that I'm the biggest stands for, and with Jujutsu Kaisen,
I feel like
up here.
all of us,
right. Like those are like, you know, if they're not top twos, they're top threes. You know what I mean? So it's like, and this is a really hard one for me too. Obviously, maybe you could assume that I like teeter a little bit more towards the side of Hunter x Hunter, but like just like from what I understand of that fight with Netero and Meruem, like the 100 type didn't really do anything to Meruem that was anything more than just concussive movement around the battlefield. You know what I mean? Like he was playing keep away. Like he was literally just keeping him away. He wasn't really.
It started to affect him a little bit.
Yeah, after like after 1,000 hits or whatever, or 100,000 hits or whatever, he said that he's like the king started feeling like little dull patches of pain, you know, like in his joints or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we could really start trying to like compare the king's durability to Whitebeard's, but at the same time, it's like
I'm saying the king's is higher, bro.
The zero hand is the only thing that did really anything to the king. And even then, like cosmetically, yeah, he looked like a little bit ripped up, but like he didn't really seem like he was all too affected by the zero hand either. You know,
pound for pound, Whitebeard is not as durable as the king.
I mean, like he's not
okay,
either.
Let's just say this: what the fuck is Squardo doing to Meruem?
No, super legit. Very, very legit.
Hey, chill on my man Squardo.
Squardo did nothing wrong.
Kizaru's light beam is piercing the king.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I don't know though.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough, dude.
It's just when Whitebeard like just pulled the fucking sky and just made everything tilt.
Yeah,
it just makes me feel like it's not gonna matter whether Netero's in the air or not. He's just gonna.
I think what Whitebeard has to rely on here is his durability. His endurance and his like his damage, his AOE damage capability.
Earthquake damage.
It's AOE earthquake damage.
Even if you're fast, this is an earthquake.
The bitch,
it shatters,
breaks the whole shit.
But my thing
breaks
is,
the whole sky. Yeah.
Again, here comes in channeling time.
Yeah.
Whitebeard.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, and that time is and his ass is fucked. Like what is he gonna do?
I could see Whitebeard like winding it up, and then Netero just like over and over. Yeah.
It's 100 hits by the time Whitebeard can swing his arm.
He's gonna get knocked around. Oh.
He is gonna get smacked around a little bit.
But okay, now though this is One Piece. You know, say Whitebeard's durability.
Yeah.
Punching people never does anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do a
like
goddamn thing in One Piece.
Yeah. So it's like the zero hand maybe is like a beam attack, right? So like that at least could maybe do something.
Yeah, but
like
even Netero's attacks are still named attacks, even though they're like punches and slaps. Like even though they're like punches, and like but named
it's still
attacks.
A punch and a slap.
Yeah, but named attacks are the only things that like actually like make a difference. Whether it's a punch or a slap, like regular punches and slaps, like I don't really know. But like if you're a punching fighting type, all of your punching moves that mean anything are a named attack. You know what I mean?
And what I'm saying is that in One Piece, named punching attacks, say Luffy's, right? Luffy's named punching attacks, so all of his attacks or whatever, basically.
Yeah.
Sure, they do things, things, but they often don't do things too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm saying that like even though Netero's punching attacks are named, would they actually hurt like the strongest person alive in One Piece?
That's a good question.
I don't know if they would probably damage him, but like a lot? I don't know.
I just feel like One Piece durability is higher than Hunter's.
Yeah.
You know, like,
me too.
And that's the problem is that honestly, Eagle makes a very good point.
Yeah.
How can you not make a better point than that? That's the best point I ever heard.
Right.
But at the same time though, Whitebeard got half his head blown off. But just walking.
Yeah.
And he ain't even scared. He's still coming. Wow. Like, he ain't even worried about getting the face.
I feel like this is something we haven't even brought up that is very worth bringing up.
Half a brain.
This is something that hasn't even come up that is very, very like centric to this in determining like, is it old sick Whitebeard that we're talking about, or is it like clashing with Roger Prime?
I feel like we have to do. I feel like we have to do.
Whitebeard, I think it's Whitebeard War.
Whitebeard War, and then Chimera Ant Saga. Yeah.
Yes,
because you have to give
oldest they've ever been.
Yeah, oldest they've ever been.
It's like jack his durability up by infinity.
Yeah.
What?
Well, because if you're doing that for Whitebeard, you'd have to do it for
doing
Netero.
Prime
Make it like
Whitebeard,
50-year-old Netero versus 50-year-old Whitebeard. You know, like that's a different story. Because 50-year-old Netero, I feel like is 3 or 5 times stronger than the Netero that we see. Like, I feel like, or maybe 70-year-old Netero, because Netero's like 150 or some shit. I don't know.
Right. Netero's old as dick.
He's like 110 to 130. Yeah. somewhere in
I
between.
feel
there.
like
I'd say older because Zeno's old as
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
He
and-
said that Netero
and he
was an
saw
old man
Zeno
when
as a baby.
Yeah, yeah, and he
Saw
said that,
Zeno as a baby.
and Zeno said he was already old when he was a baby. But I could have
He was at least
sworn
like 70.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, 150,
Yeah.
sure. He's old as shit, but but yeah, I don't know, man.
20-year difference. So say if you just take 20 years, if you take 20 years off Whitebeard's life and 20 years off Netero's life, I think Whitebeard's a lot stronger with that 20 years off than that. So I just
and we don't
think
really
you should
know what
do
like
that.
Netero looks like taking damage that is like the style of damage of like Whitebeard's, because like when he was fighting the king, all the damage that Netero took was leg gone, arm gone, and then I'm using up all of my nen and turning myself into a raisin, and then I'm blowing myself up.
Right.
So like so like I don't know like what
And that-
you know that kind of damage or how Netero would deal with physical, because he is an enhancer. He is an
Right.
enhancer.
And that
innately.
No, it's not.
that raises he is an enhancer.
Yeah.
His ability's not an enhancer ability, but he is an enhancer as his base.
Innately, he is
Now-
an enhancer. Yeah.
Now that raises a great point, because Whitebeard, say against Akainu, he literally took the earthquake straight to the head.
Yeah.
And Akainu was just like, ow. And you know what I mean? Like, he didn't even die.
It seemed
he got hit.
No, he got fucked up. I'm just saying he didn't die. He didn't die.
Yeah.
And if
That's
Yeah.
probably
But-
hockey defense. That's hockey co, right? Like
no,
you know,
sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, like, if Akainu, who's not the strongest, not even probably near the strongest of One Piece characters, he probably not in the top 10.
He's
You know what I mean?
definitely he's in top 10, right?
I feel like a lot of people would say he's top 10. I feel like a lot of people would say he's top 10.
Okay, fine, but he's not at the level of Whitebeard.
Yeah,
Can we
sure.
agree with that?
Sure, maybe.
What?
I mean,
Top
in
five
that moment,
No.
I feel like we're a lot closer.
Pretty
than,
equal.
Yeah.
I guess what
pretty
I'm saying
equal
is
at
that
point.
if
Akainu and Whitebeard?
Yeah.
right, what I'm saying
during
is
the
if
war.
Akainu wouldn't be hurt by a direct hit from an earthquake
To the forehead.
to the forehead,
Yeah.
would Netero be
Yeah.
that
Sure, he got it
damaged by a
side,
direct
like the
hit?
whole side though.
Yeah,
He got hit
whole
like
side to side,
4
yeah.
times by Whitebeard.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I know he definitely got hit in the head.
He
too.
got because Whitebeard came down and crushed his
That was
head
down.
like down
Yeah,
into
but
the
he's
ground.
a Logia. He just turned, but I guess hockey. He
Yeah,
should have
hockey,
just been
he got
out
hit
and
because of
dead.
hockey. Yeah.
This was like before the time where they actually started like coloring.
I know.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I know, and it's so questionable, like what was happening in Whitebeard.
Because they'll
Obviously,
say
a
it
lot
like,
of
"Oh, he's using hockey." Like, what the fuck does that mean?
But
Yeah.
you see Akainu like turn into magma to like almost mitigate damage and puddle down, turn into a little puddle.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
like I don't know, hard to say.
But that is a good question that I understand exactly what Nick is trying to ask here. And he's basically saying like, okay, we know that Whitebeard has like all of this huge AoE damage that like completely split
But does it
Marineford
really
in
do
half and
that
like
much
shook the world and
damage?
whatnot. But his
Yeah.
centralized, like concentrated attacks on people didn't seem to be as devastating as like his big, battlefield sized earthquakes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
would Netero even be that phased by Whitebeard's attacks? And I'm gonna go ahead
especially
and
as
say
an enhancer.
no.
Yeah.
As an enhancer, I would
Yeah.
say no, and
Yeah.
that makes me think that Netero would slap here.
Yeah.
And now that you
because
say that too, I'm remembering that like on a single target basis, his AoE moves didn't fuck anybody up.
Not really.
I mean, the
He
fodders,
tilted
the fodders
he
were slipping
tilted
and
the
sliding
earth,
everywhere.
And everybody was like, "Oh shit,
Yeah, just
wop, wop,
like-
oh my god!" But the main thing was like the tidal waves coming in.
Yeah.
He didn't do
Exactly.
any damage.
He
to
did
any
the
of
one.
his,
He did
like,
the one where he like grabbed the air and then like flipped everything like
yeah.
upside down and shit. That was
Yeah.
that was drastic. That was his biggest AoE
That-
move
yeah,
that
that
he
was-
did.
yeah, that was drastic as fuck.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
Netero's sitting there floating and he does like heaven and earth,
Yeah.
is it really doing anything to Netero?
That's what I asked at the beginning of this conversation.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Right.
like,
And you also got to take into account that like by like Urogen, who's going to be weaker than Netero, was also an enhancer.
Yeah.
And he was able to just take bazooka straight to the face.
yeah, no,
Yep.
no issue at all. And at the same time, this earthquake damage, like you kind of like have to like think about it. Kind of makes you think of like Pokemon, right? It's like if I use earthquake, but the Pokemon has like levitate, or what's
Fly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
levitate or flying type,
you know
any
what I mean?
flying type.
Yeah, you know, like
any
it's gonna,
flying
and I
type
know
or
that this isn't,
levitate,
I know that
yes.
this isn't Pokemon, but I mean it's like a similar.
No.
Yeah, it's like a similar kind of like
makes sense.
logic there. You know what I mean? But-
Yeah. Similar logic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, other than Blackbeard kind of just like cracks the sky and it's weird. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to like really like pinpoint
Yeah.
what's going on there. But
Yeah.
another thing though that you got to take into account here, which is really hard to quantify is that Sengoku does say Whitebeard is the man who can destroy the world. Like, he has the power to destroy. Like Gaara is the only fruit that can destroy the planet, and it's like, what the fuck? I mean, I don't know. How do you really quantify that in this? Especially when we have, like, you guys are giving.
I don't think old
feats on
Whitebeard had that power though.
Yeah,
Well,
you're probably right. The old Whitebeard probably didn't have that
Even
power.
if he did, I always took that to mean he can make tsunamis, he can level islands.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
He
but
can
as
make
I
the
said
world
before, like,
uninhabitable. He can't
Yeah.
blow
He
the
can-
planet up, but he can literally
he can take
make
all the land and
you
make it
can't
not
be-
land anymore.
Yeah, you can't
There
be
is an
here
argument to
anymore.
be made though that he can like destroy the actual whole planet, because when he was doing heaven and earth and shit and doing like the really crazy shit in Marineford, there was like panels of people in other seas making comments, making comments of how shit was. There was tremors in entirely different seas across the world. So if it was prime Whitebeard, boom, heaven and earth, like is it a full scale earthquake across the fucking world?
That's wild.
Probably.
Well, and does Whitebeard square up? Does he just like destroy the island you're on before you even get to fight?
He squares up. He squares up. Well, I mean, actually, he was.
sure.
He's
he
like
does
glaive.
square
He's a
up for his-
glaive.
Yeah, he's got the
Yeah.
Bicento,
Sure,
the Bicento.
And he imbues it with earthquake shit.
That's not what I'm saying. Of
Yeah.
course he can square up.
Yeah.
But does he need to?
Yeah,
right?
does he
Like,
need
just,
to?
You know,
Gotcha.
crashes
Yeah,
you
yeah.
to death before you even get there. But
Yeah.
but that's
And
those
the ability
are all-
the ability to take an island and make it non-existent is way more powerful in One Piece universe, where it's only islands.
Yeah.
Where in Hunter universe, it's like, I don't know, I'm on a continent. What are you gonna do? Sink a continent? You can't do that. Like,
Right.
Not possible.
You're gonna kill everybody here?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, well,
definitely.
well, let's see. Who do you guys think wins it?
I've
Netero.
been on Netero from the start.
You have
really.
been, yeah.
God damn.
I mean, I love
It's like I want to
Whitebeard.
say, it's like
hard
it's, I
choice.
know it's like I want to say Netero too, just because of like the conversation that we've had here. But
I
like,
just don't feel like Hunter characters match up to One Piece characters as a whole in the
I
universe.
know, and it makes
Right.
you think, okay, so since like One Piece characters are stronger than Hunter characters, like in general, but this is still a 1v1 matchup. I'm not saying that there's not a single Hunter character that's stronger than,
of course
or that's
not.
not stronger than, or whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, even though like,
Merriam's punching Helmeppo's head clean off, right? Like,
but no, like,
Taking Helmep out like that little girl in the village.
yeah. But like, I don't know, man. Like I want to say Netero, but like for some reason, ever since this question's been asked, I just see Whitebeard winning the fight in my head,
Me
and I'm
too.
having a
Like, I
really
don't know
hard time
why.
explaining
Yeah.
why he wins, though.
yeah, you guys have good points, and it's hard. Other than he just destroys the world. Like, I just-
Snooty, what do you think?
Yeah, Schnoody, dude.
Damn it.
God damn it.
Man,
Damn, I
We're
thought
gonna
they
stay
wouldn't
on
notice me
Moxie for
since
a
I ain't on
little
cam.
Whitebeard reaches up and gets slapped 10
I
times.
do want to say like Whitebeard, but after this discussion, I think I'm gonna have to change it to Netero.
Yeah, because he goes to go grab the air. And
Dude, it's fucking.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
You know what?
it's Netero. It's Netero. It's Netero.
Eagle showmanship. You win it for me.
Oh wait,
No
hold
matter
on.
what, like-
How do I do it,
No,
Nick? You're doing it so
this way.
well. God damn it.
No,
I can do
this
this
way.
one. I can do this one.
I can't do. I
Of
can't
course
do
you can
this.
do that one.
I can,
Basic ass
you can
fucking
hit this one. What's the middle finger? I don't even know. The zero hand. All right. And my shit's like inverted anyway. Okay, so Netero.
Yeah.
Netero takes it. That one's probably going to be a huge point of contention inside of the comments. So
gonna be-
Yeah, please tell us what you think in the comments.
So please,
Yeah.
please holler at us and let us know.
People are going to be going crazy.
I
for Whitebeard.
swear to God, bro.
Someone's gonna retweet the shit. This is
These motherfuckers don't know what they're talking about at all. I'm unsubscribing. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
deep down in the back of our minds, we know it's Whitebeard. But that's fine. But it's Netero for tonight because we're lit, and that's and Netero is cooler. At the end of the day,
Hey,
actually, no, I don't want it. Yeah, that's tough.
That's another
tough.
fight.
I'm
That's
gonna-
another
I'm gonna
fight.
take that back. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah,
back.
you take that one
They're-
back.
They're equally great old men.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love them.
For
boys.
sure, for sure.
Definitely.
For
definitely.
sure. Okay, so I want to go.
next?
I want to go next. I want to go next because I have a really cool pick here. That I feel like and I feel like no one's maybe even thought of this before. But we got, and now this is gonna be, like slights. Well, I mean, I guess spoilers for The Promised Neverland because the anime hasn't really reached this point. But I feel like a lot of people who watch this show are coming from our jump
Emma
coverage.
versus Arlong.
That's easy.
But I feel,
it's very easy.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people who are going to be watching this, at least initially, are going to be coming from our jump coverage. In which case, we do cover the Promised Neverland's manga. So just giving you guys a warning for the people who don't know about the Promised Neverland inside of the manga, we're looking at Livas from Goldie Pond, the villain of Goldie Pond, the demon from royalty inside of the Promised Neverland's universe, versus Inosuke from Demon Slayer. And the reason why I chose this matchup is because Demon Slayer is the title. Leovis is a demon. and I just think
that's a good matchup though.
I'm thinking about like I'm trying to remember like Goldie Pond, and I'm trying to remember like what Inosuke can do, and like obviously I don't want to choose like a Tanjiro because he's just gonna Tanjiro Leovis, and you know what I mean. I wanted to grab like a non
armor win.
Yeah, I wanted to grab a non like tried and true main character versus a Leovis because we all know how Leovis fares against actual main characters of a series. So but at the same time,
guts.
Yeah,
and Zenitsu wash his ass.
Yeah, and Zenitsu's way too fast. You know what I mean?
Here's a very important question.
Yeah.
Does Leovis have his monkey friend?
Oh yeah, his little monkey Hattori.
His little butler, his little guy in his
Yeah, I feel like we could assume that
throws bleach in your eye, bro. Like,
I feel I'm just mostly joking about that.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I thought that this would be really cool, and
I like the matchup because like in Promised Neverland, like Leovis is going up against very, very smart children.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and Inosuke is like the dumbest
motherfucker. Just a meathead.
Around.
He's a meathead.
He is pure action,
but he's got heart. He's got heart. And he's vicious with it, you know what I'm saying? And he does.
I think it's a great matchup.
He does do some like really tight shit. Like I feel like the main points of like as far as an advantage, or maybe not an advantage, but I feel like the strengths for Inosuke in this fight, he has that like sensory attack, you know what I mean, where he sticks the swords in the ground and he can like sense things in like a certain radius. And I feel like that's massive, for someone who's faster than you and someone who's a little bit more elusive than you. Leovis obviously has like they're similar. They're like both beasts, like beast fighting types. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know.
It's actually kind of is that.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
For it. I was just gonna say it's kind of weird. It's kind of interesting how like Leovis is like he's a demon who acts pretty human-like, and Inosuke is like a kid that was just raised in the forest. He's basically Tarzan with swords.
Yeah. He's Tarzan
I love
with
that
swords.
dichotomy, that flip. I love that.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. Well, and what I was gonna say is that with Inosuke's like beast breathing, his movements are very instinctual and whatnot. Where like Leovis is very focused, like very
calculated
to
brooding.
Hunting humans too, and fighting against humans that will have like less instinctive, more calculated plans. Where like Inosuke's movements might be very erratic and hard for him to like even
very off the wall.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean that's why I really like this to begin with. It's always really hard because Leovis, okay, you kill him once. You technically have to kill him twice, but we're gonna. I feel like you almost have to throw that out for that.
Let's take the second core away.
Goldie Pond,
Goldie Pond Leovis.
Yes.
Let's just use Goldie Pond Leovis here. And the big question is, Goldie
Pond Leovis has two cores?
I know he has. I know he has two cores. We don't know that at the time.
He thinks he's dead. He's dead, and he thinks he's dead.
Obviously, they killed one core, and then that was the end of the arc. That's what we're going with here.
Hey, don't blame us because the story didn't turn out good. That's not our fault.
This is really a tangential tie-in to the Jump podcast.
Jeez.
I love that.
But see, okay, so I feel like this is what it comes down to because the questions that you have to ask are: is Inosuke competent enough to like look for a weakness? Because he's going to be going for the head, obviously, because that's how you kill demons. So like when the head chop fails,
he's gonna be going for the neck.
Well, the neck. Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. So when he goes for the beheading and the beheading doesn't work, how is that going to affect Inosuke? So like that's question number one. And then after Inosuke sees that doesn't work, is that going to like demoralize him? Is that going to have him like kind of like reset and think, okay, like where is this demon's weakness? If it's not like any demon that I've ever faced before, where could his weakness be? Will he be able to deduce what he needs to do to kill Leovis?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's a major question.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
It's
will his instincts lead him there? Will his instincts lead him there in a fight?
Here's a question in that regard.
Yeah.
Livas does wear a mask, right?
Yeah.
Just like everyone else.
Yeah.
Yep.
In that sense, I could imagine reading this, this manga, this like one shot of these two fighting.
Yeah.
I can imagine Inosuke going, but why does he have this mask on? He doesn't have any other armor on. He's wearing a suit. He's got this like nice hat or whatever. But why does he have armor on his face? And I think he would pick up on that.
Wow.
I do think he would pick up on that.
Okay.
Sure.
Fuck yeah. I like that, Nick.
The other thing about Inosuke, so like Livas is going to be able to like lust stab the fuck out of you with finger tendrils or whatever the fuck.
Right.
But I feel like instinctually Inosuke wouldn't get hit by those initially. And
I feel like he can block the shit out of those. He's fast enough. He's got like the quickest like two-hand swords that we've seen like in He's
and
got
definitely that's what I kind of mean,
sure.
like a combination of dodging and parrying the attacks, and but I feel like he has to take damage to get in to cut the face.
Yeah,
he's taking damage. He's taking damage.
He will, and he will take damage. He ain't a hoe. Like he's definitely coming in, and he will sacrifice a fucking impaling to get the killing blow.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would be very close, but I want to say it's Inosuke here.
I want to say it's Inosuke
really
too,
do.
and the way that I feel like it goes down is because Livas is going to be reading his attacks. He's obviously a lot smarter than Inosuke. He's obviously a lot more. He's obviously like 1,000, 1,500, 3,000 years old. So he's got like leagues and leagues upon leagues of experience over Inosuke, which I feel like most of the demons do anyway inside of Demon Slayer.
Sure.
But like when it comes down to it, I feel like Livas is also very arrogant at the same time too. He knows he's stronger, he knows he's faster, he knows he's better, and he knows that he can read this dude like a book. But Inosuke has that fucking like he like dislocates his fucking shoulder to get like more range. And I feel like once he like realizes where the core is, he'll go for something, and like Livas will like this kind of attack again, and then he'll like dodge or some shit, and then pop the shoulder out and slice his eyeball. I feel like that's what decides it right there, is that move.
I was thinking that too.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Two more points. One, in the Goldie Pond arc, the demons are kind of sneaky, you know, like hunter types.
Yeah.
So like not hunter like hunter, but hunter like a pew hunter.
Yeah.
So they're like kind of a little more sneaky. And Inosuke, his instincts and his sensing, I don't think he'd fall for that at all. I think he pretty much very quickly go into like a 1v1 in a clearing type situation. And Inosuke is very used to, over the course of the series, very used to demons that regenerate. Like all the demons regenerate. That's not a weird thing.
Nothing.
You know?
That's right.
Yeah. So like he would like cut his arm off and he would grow back and be like, oh, just like every other demon I fight. Okay, no big deal. So I do think Inosuke has this. Even though Livas, I would say, is like just way stronger and like way
everything
smarter and everything.
Like,
but it's just like it's like I think Inosuke takes this one.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I think Inosuke takes it, and I think it's kind of interesting because like I feel like Livas just won't be prepared for Inosuke just because he's been basically hunting humans, like regular humans, like smart people for the past like couple thousand. And Inosuke doesn't act like a human; he acts like an animal. So he'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" Just get thrown for the biggest loop of his life.
And Inosuke is not like a 10-year-old child who's never lifted a weight in their life.
Right,
he's jacked,
he's like,
and he's a swordsman.
14-year-old.
But at the same time, I feel
ready.
like Livas is obviously not the kind of person where like the same gag works on him twice. So like Inosuke like really has to take advantage of every single like moment that he gets, you know, where he knows something that Livas doesn't. You know what I mean? Because as soon as Livas like sees something, he's gonna be like, "That's what you do. Now I know how to defend against it." And like you have very little room for error here. But I feel like Inosuke is just gonna find that opening. I feel like the dislocated shoulder attack, for some reason, is that's just like how I see the final clash being like.
Because I think that either Inosuke's going to take a hit and then try and swing and then dislocate his shoulder to get the eye, or he's just going to end up cutting off Livas' head and then just massacring that shit.
So we need to hear from Eagle here.
Like Livas is his guy.
He's been holding
agree. Let's move on.
You think Livas
bodies
bodies him?
One person can beat Livas.
Okay.
It took dozens of children. Thousands of bullets.
Yeah.
Months of planning.
That's right. because they were
I
that
don't
kind
feel
of
right
kid.
about
It
taking
was
his second
dozens
core
of that
away
kind of
because
kid. It was dozens of that kind of same kid.
And none of those
And
kids
none
have
of those
the type
kids
of physical
were-
stats that Inosuke
Yeah,
does.
we're anywhere like the kind of person Inosuke is. Inosuke is literally
Yeah, I mean-
like literally the tried and true
That's a-
human
yeah, it's a
counter of
battle shonen.
Livas.
He's definitely moving like, you know, a lot faster than any fucking human could ever move in the Promised Neverland.
He's not
universe,
moving
too.
faster than bullets.
That's a great point. And he did catch like
It took
he
thousands
caught,
of bullets.
He caught
in
rapid
a
fire
swarm
bullets
to get Livas
yeah.
to the point where they had a minute chance to hit his core and actually kill him.
That's very fair.
That's
very
so
fair.
fair. God damn it.
Yeah, but he was getting pressured by Adam though.
Yeah, and as soon as a big, beefy, swole ass dude comes in, he's way less effective. So like,
Hey,
Bro, he bodied the Adams. They gave him a problem for about a half a second.
That's all Inosuke needs.
hey,
yeah, that's all it knows.
hey,
No, I think
No, because he doesn't
good
know
points,
where he's
Eagle.
going.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
too
no.
stupid. That too, like Livas is just dude,
Yeah.
he's so much
Eagle
more.
just let us go for like a long
Yeah,
time. Mad as
and he
hell.
was sitting there with his.
I wasn't mad. I was.
Do you
I got
use
something for these
some
motherfuckers.
pig head little dirty kid with broken swords? Fuck that dirty ass kid. Fuck him.
Oh my god.
Dead face motherfucker.
He lives in the forest. He eats fucking poisonous mushrooms for breakfast.
Like
Fuck
Tess.
him.
He's too dumb, dude.
So should do we want to
I don't
keep
think
going
the
with this
skills of
one, or
deduction
should we
are high
say
enough.
who's right? Comments. Who's right?
Yeah,
Or the
comments.
rest?
Eagle versus the rest of the panel.
Hey,
Let us know what you think, Promised Neverland fans.
Yeah. If there's any of you left, Promise Neverland fan, let us know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Too soon. Okay.
Okay, too
Who's
soon.
next?
Who's next?
I'll take the next one.
Yeah, Snooty,
All right.
go.
Okay. Oh, I already know that Kiko's going to have a bit of a bias on this one, but I
Uh-oh.
thought about this
Uh-oh.
because they're both fire users and they're both just good at what the fuck they do.
Yeah.
Alibaba Saluja versus Natsu Dragon Eel.
Okay, we got Buggy versus Fairy Tale.
So
This is tough.
before
Yeah.
Kiko
Yeah,
gets in here,
go ahead.
Snooty,
Yeah,
like
go
give us
ahead.
a little
Yeah,
background
give us
on
a little
this,
background on
fight.
this. Yeah.
All right, so
Why'd you choose these? Why'd you choose these two?
Why did I choose these two? It was like I really thought that like okay, so you just see it's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah.
But like you get Alibaba as this like kind of like well, it's kind of like the opposite of Natsu in the fact that
Yeah.
when you're introduced to Alibaba, he's just like he's kind of a bum, like he's
Yeah.
just some random fucking kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Natsu is this fucking badass who just took out basically an entire group of like criminals. on his
Dragon
own.
Slayer magic. Ah.
Give me some fire to eat. I'm hungry.
like, and then like the deeper you go in the series, you see Alibaba grow and progress, and you see Natsu grow and progress, but it's like when you see Alibaba grow and progress, you see this bum go from a bum,
Rags to
somebody
riches.
who's just like exactly to who's like incinerating mountains, and then
Yeah.
you see Natsu who's just incinerating mountains by like breathing.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I saw that, I was like, oh, well, these two gotta be somewhere close in strength. So
Yeah, similar destructive
Throw-
power, similar
Yep.
fighting styles for two. I
Well-
mean, fire versus fire. I don't know about fighting
And
style.
correct
but
me if I'm wrong too, like they both absorb fire. Like they're gonna
Yeah.
shoot each other and both be able to eat each other's magics, right? Like,
That's okay. So that's the question, isn't it? Right.
Exactly.
So like, so, and obviously Natsu can eat anything hot. I
gonna
mean,
come down to
Hiro,
hands.
Hiro Mashima will literally say that any like he reached for Natsu to be able to literally
busted
eat
open
anything.
a light bulb in a
Yeah, yeah, exactly. A
Saw
light
that
bulb.
Etherean. It was like some random like rock on the ground. Hey, this works as energy.
I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
sure, why not? Fuck it.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
like-
why we don't talk about fairy tales.
Right. It's like, and that's the thing. It's just like, man, it's like, is Natsu ever gonna like fight a dude whose abilities he can't eat? It's like a dude's like, all right, Natsu, I'm using water. Now what are you gonna do? And Natsu's gonna be like, sorry, bro, is that water, hotter than 45 degrees Fahrenheit? Because you're fucked, buddy. Like that's what it feels like, and it's like. So Alibaba's
Yeah.
magic we can assume is getting eat up. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, Alibaba does the same thing. I'm pretty sure all fucking
and that's where the problem comes.
Can eat their own element. And here's
so
a
it's
big
gonna
question,
come down
though.
to hands.
Well, yeah, and I feel like if it does come down to hands, like a Jin equip is really strong. Like,
equips are really strong. Amazing
fucking fiery sword that you're flying through the fucking air. Like, I mean, it's definitely very fast. I don't know. It's sound barrier fast, maybe. I'm not sure. You definitely like see, ripples, like energy blast when they move.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Hard to say, like, because Natsu has a very high level of physical, ability too. But here's my big question.
He is a martial artist too, like at the same time. As a fire user, so like.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe Shnoody, you can answer this. Is there like some kind of cap on how much he can eat? Like with Alibaba's extreme magic, big fucking giant fire blast that would blow a fucking island away. Can he eat that? Can Natsu really eat that, or would he overheat, or would he just blow up? Like, I don't know.
I mean,
like
following
magic is really
the rules of like
huge.
Following the rules of like end-game main character shonen story, I would
Sure, he can eat anything.
I would assume that literally there's just nothing that Natsu can't do related to fire. Yeah, he's just gonna Kirby. Yeah, he's just gonna Kirby any attack. Yeah.
And it's MC versus MC too, which is tough. We can't just plot armor this one away.
Can Natsu get his head? Can Natsu get his head? Because I'm gonna keep it a buck with the audience here. I quit Fairy Tail at the S-Class Mage exam, so like I don't really know. Like, I don't really know exactly like what endgame Natsu like looks like. I mean, I can guess just because of like my experience with the genre and like Hiro Mashima's storytelling style, which we don't really need to get into. But if Alibaba like really got in close and like cleaved, like hit the sword right where it needed to go, would that take out Natsu?
Yeah. Natsu's not coming back.
Natsu's not coming back.
Yeah, I feel like it would. And
I feel like that's what decides it is. Does Natsu even have like? Can you think of a move that Natsu would use that could defeat Alibaba?
Fire claw that like I don't.
He's got like a lot of fire. He's got like pretty much just a whole bunch of regular martial arts on top of like just add fire.
Yeah,
it's almost like a Bakugo style of fighting too, where he's using propulsion for his to come in with a if he's gonna use a physical whatever, it's getting the fire.
Yeah, I got like the elbow getting boosted by the fire, the heel getting boosted by the fire, toenails getting boosted by fire.
Toenails. That's Cryed, fuck yeah, dude. Kazuma, bro, fuck yeah. Yes. Hey, drop a comment in the comment section if anybody who's watching this remembers S. Cryed.
Really love that show.
I need to see where my S. Cryed people are at because Twitter does not know what that anime is. I promise you.
It disappoints me so much.
But
disgraceful.
But I don't know, man. I mean, I'm leaving. I'm honestly, I'm leaving it up to Kiko and Shnoody here because they're the M.A.N.G.A people, and I mean, and
now that I think about it too, after like Alibaba gets kind of banished away to like a purgatory type state, and he comes back from that, he doesn't have like future sight, I would say. But
I don't want to call it. It's like hyper. I don't even call it precognition. It's more like hyper intuition, like.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he just really could sense the flow of like what's happening, even though he doesn't actually foresee the future. Like he can.
I'd say it's more like hyper perception, where his perception speed is just so high that everybody else just seems like they're moving not moving at all. Actually.
Yeah. And he like sees how things will play out in the future, not usually in a fight even. It's more even politically when you see it, like how things go, like, hey, this thing's gonna happen, like these events are gonna kind of, but even still, like, even though you don't really get to see that used too much in a fight, I feel like that's definitely an ability that works well in a fight.
Yeah.
So
that's
I don't know.
Beautiful ability. Yeah. Like I remember seeing it when he was fighting like the co-guards. He was like, they're gonna swing this way, so I'm just gonna leave that, and then I'm just gonna push his arm a little bit so he strips himself up.
Yeah,
and he might do that to Natsu. I can see him doing that to Natsu. I don't want to say before the Jin equip, but I feel like before the Jin equip.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, as long as Alibaba's Jin equipped, I feel like he can't lose to Natsu. I mean, because it's just too. It's the stalemate of they both absorb each other, and I feel like Natsu doesn't have much more than that, unless I mean, like. just like Noxie said. I mean, I quit around the same part he did, unless there's some like huge physical upgrade that he has later in the story where he can.
I don't want to say it's a huge physical upgrade. It's more like he just gets to do more of what he's been doing.
Sure.
Like just breathing more fire, using more fire, just doing Natsu things.
Doing Natsu. So you guys are giving it to Alibaba?
I was biased in the beginning in the first place. I was giving it to Natsu.
Yeah, well, hey, all right, well, there's the verdict, unless anybody else has any kind of input that they want to give. But let us know in the comment section how you feel about that matchup. Let us know if you agree, disagree, how you guys think the fight would go. But who's next? I think Eagle. I think it's up to you.
Eagle's up. Eagle's up.
That's
here.
my first pick.
What
here,
it
and
is?
I'm struggling to pick which one I want to go first with.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with this one just because it's my personal favorite out of the bunch.
Okay.
I'm gonna do Gang Orca versus Arlong.
Arlong, yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I chose this matchup just because, like Nickum said, it's aquatic boys matchup.
It's aquatic hours.
Gang Orca, he's a killer whale. He can do. I mean, as far as we know, his combat style is pretty much predicated around like physical ability. Like he just kind of punches you. We don't know if he can do any like water attacks or anything like that.
He's got to have some shit like that.
He can't breathe underwater, but we know he can probably hold his breath underwater for a substantial amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, can a fucking orca hold its breath for like 3 hours? Like, who? I mean, at that point,
that's
like,
funny. Orcas aren't fish. I was like, why can't he breathe underwater? Oh yeah, he's not a fish.
He's a mammal, definitely.
And then obviously Arlong isn't. He doesn't have fisherman karate. He has like developed his own kind of shark fighting style. But you know, he's obviously a shark fisherman and does water style attacks and punches you in the fucking mouth as well.
If it's a matter of drip, we already know who's winning the drip battle. Because that man's outfit is clean.
Well, and because Arlong looks like a bum, all his clothes are tattered. I'm like, how are you running shit on this island? Yeah, what's wrong with you? Get some.
Like you've been robbing everybody. You couldn't pick up a clean fit, bro.
Yeah, Nami brought you mad bricks, man.
Yeah. I feel like the biggest. I feel like. I mean, obviously, this is going to be like a strength and speed versus strong. Like who's more vicious? Like who's the bigger predator? Kind of like matchup here. And I feel like because they're both, predatory.
Arlong is a tiger shark, right?
No,
he's
not a
something with a saw.
Saw-nose shark.
Yeah,
he's a sawfish, isn't he?
Where was this?
Yeah, I don't think he's a shark.
In the trivia time,
where was this in the trivia?
He's a saw
shark.
Saw
shark fishman.
Saw shark fishman.
Yeah, saw shark fishman.
And now, like obviously, this is going to be like a very prideful, like who's the bigger underwater predator kind of like thing. You know what I mean? So we can assume that it'll be like a very bravado like base like machismo like kind of like situation here. But and it'll clearly
as far as I know, orcas kill sharks.
Bodying a fucking sock.
Orcas are above sharks on the water food chain.
Now, one thing that we have to keep in mind here is that like as far as like what we understand Gang Orca can do, sure you can just say he can do whatever a killer whale can. But I mean, I feel like inside of that, did we get dialogue that he can like paralyze people with like a hypersonic like scream?
Yeah, he can do the echolocation, but it like fucks with you.
Yeah, so he has a very intense form of sonar or echolocation or whatever. I think sonar is the underwater one, and echolocation is the one that bats use. Whatever. Yeah, that doesn't matter. But yeah, he has that crazy.
He could use them both, probably.
Yeah, maybe. But he has that paralyzing screech. Is basically.
Yes,
I feel like is the biggest factor that Gang Orca has. Since we know so little about him, I feel like that's massive. You know what I mean? But
Screech is negative 2 times damage in Pokemon. So there it is.
Okay. Pokemon rules again. Okay.
Pokemon rules. Hey, we got it. We could use them. Use them if you got them.
Sawfish, saw shark versus fucking orca. It's just about a Pokemon battle, but it's really hard without feats from Orca, like Gang Orca.
It really is.
Have a lot of feats, but I think at the end of the day, he was very physically imposing on land. It's not like he was, I'm pretty confident him and Arlong would. Don't you think they would be similar though, like strength wise? I don't know. Arlong picked up a
I
house.
think so too. I don't want us to get too hung up on the 10 times stronger than humans thing, because I think Gang Orca is pretty fucking strong.
But Arlong picked up a house.
As opposed to a regular,
he flipped houses upside down.
As opposed to a regular human, Gang Orca's pretty fucking strong. So like we're making that 10 times comparison as opposed to a regular One Piece citizen.
No, I totally see what you're saying, Eagle. But like, do you
Gang
really
Orca's
think
that strong?
Do you really think Gang Orca can
Pick
take
up
a house
No.
and just rip it out from the foundations and flip it over? I don't think he can.
I can't see him doing that either.
Like only
maybe
super
if he had the squad.
strong quirk users can do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you have the squad, sure, but
I feel like, and plus I feel like Arlong's got range with his sword.
Water bullets.
Kitty Bachi. Kitty Bachi.
He's got Kitty Bachi, and he's got shark arrows too. So like and I like Gang Orca more than I like Arlong.
Arlong's a bitch.
Here's a question for everyone. Like, does the result of the battle matter if it's on land versus in the water?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
So are you saying like in water Arlong wins?
In water, I think Arlong would just body the shit out of Orca, just because we don't know if he can breathe underwater for long. And no, Arlong can.
I feel like Gang Orca can breathe underwater long enough to fight Arlong underwater. I don't think his breath. I don't think his breath is going to be, an issue for an underwater battle. But I feel like Arlong,
especially if Sanji fights Kurogi.
Yeah, if Sanji can.
Yeah. But at the same time,
ain't Sanji.
I don't know. I feel like
it's too hard to give it to Gang Orca
It's
until
way
we
too hard
get
to
some
give it
bigger
to
feats.
Yeah.
But this is a really cool idea for a fight, though.
Yeah.
It really is.
Because it's like imagine watching this. This would be beautiful. Even if it's a wash, even if it's a wash in one direction, like this would be so fucking cool to see. Yeah. But
especially
I feel like Arlong has to win this.
Especially if like quirks were like low or Zoan fruits were like Gang Orca could turn into a full orca in water, then he would probably body fucking up.
Yes, please.
He just starts like slapping him around like with his tail. Like you see Arlong fly out of the water, fly back in, fly out of the water, fly back in from the distance. Yeah. And then until he comes, with the fucking Jaws type.
Why would he want to be an orca?
I don't know, dude.
As opposed to having fists and feet to punch and kick him with, you want to slap him around.
In the water,
in the water,
an orca. That's like you'd have to.
Gang Orca, we got to assume he has that jaw strength regularly.
But his jaw, his head is the size. Is only like 2 times as big as a human head. It's not that big of a head. He's not huge. An orca's massive.
Yeah.
An orca's the size.
I would think he's probably faster as a regular anthropomorphic orca.
Not in water though. Yeah, not in water though. Maybe.
Yeah, it depends on the water battle. On land, you want to be hybrid. You want to be hybrid.
I think he's got them webbed shits and he can swim fast as fuck.
He's got them webbed shits.
Spider whale.
But yeah, it's hard to give to Gang Orca because we don't really know about anything.
Yeah,
right.
But he can
he's
paralyze
really
him though.
Have to get in Arlong's face and try and fight
him. The paralyzing. We didn't touch on the paralyzing.
Yeah, the paralysis matters. The paralysis matters. So like if he can paralyze, Arlong, that opens up an opportunity for a kill shot there. But does Gang Orca have the damage to kill Arlong with any attack that he has?
No,
even if he gets the opportunity. So. Yeah.
I think so. Like. Sure, Arlong is very strong, but is Arlong very durable? Not, I don't think he's that.
Luffy stomped him through a fucking house, and that was it. He was done after that. He was done after that.
Anything special.
No,
he was done after that.
I got a feat.
Okay.
He gets shot dead in the face with a cannonball. Chomps it, just blows it up in his face like nothing.
Yeah,
so
that's a big deal. That's a really big deal.
He's not fucking with that, bro. He just chomps a fucking cannonball right in his face.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's a really big deal. All right, Arlong wins. I decided on Arlong for me personally.
Hell yeah.
I would go with Arlong too. Though I really hope that very soon in Hero we get more Gang Orca feats.
Yes.
Because I think I would like to revisit this
rehash this. Rehash this next time.
Yes.
On Dragon Ball Z.
All right, so oh man, okay. Let us know how you feel about that in the comment section. Let's move on here. And who wants to go next?
I'll take. I think it's me next anyway.
Let me
go. Just keeping the flow. The flow. Yeah. I'm gonna go 2 sand users here. We got Gaara, the Kazekage of the village hidden in the sand, and then we got the Shichibukai Crocodile, Sir Crocodile.
Crocodile.
Top tier One Piece laugh, Crocodile. But so I gotta kind of lay out like why I picked this battle and like kind of maybe some rules, I guess, on this one. Like I think a very basic rule that I think most people will just normally just take into account, and just this is a base rule where like Crocodile's a Logia, so he can't be hit normally unless you have Haki. So Gaara has chakra. We're just going to supplement Haki for chakra and say that since he has chakra, he can hit Crocodile. Right?
Otherwise, it just makes no sense. We just have to. You have to do that.
Yeah, you have to do that just so we can have the fight, because this is a really cool idea for a fight. But and obviously you can just say, well, Gaara can't hit Crocodile, so Crocodile wins.
Yeah,
like
done.
sure we can say that. It's
so
done.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
great conversation.
but for the sake of the conversation, and it's not like nerfing, Crocodile so that we can have the conversation. It's just this is just an aspect that we feel like makes it okay to have the conversation.
And it's just logical to say that if you have mastery over the energy system in your universe, that you should just translate that to the energy system of whatever universe the person you're fighting. That's just logical, right?
Yeah,
like,
straight up.
And I don't think it's gonna nerf Crocodile at all.
Yeah, me neither.
No, not at all. No. And another thing I have to say is, so I want to take like end of story Gaara, right? And so that means he does not have Shikaku. He does not have the fucking he's not a Jinchuriki anymore. He no longer has Shikaku, and so he can't just turn into a giant fucking raccoon dog beast. And there was also another like side story that's canon where he like develops the magnet, release style that his dad had. So that's not that either, because we don't need Magneto in here either. Right? But yeah,
that's a whole.
That's that's too much. It's too much. So yeah, like with those ground rules set, and then also it's going to be Crocodile pre-time skip, since we haven't seen any feats post-time skip, which we assume he had, or he's stronger now, but we can't
really say anything about that yet.
So I think that's a fair place to put them both, where it's like, okay, you got whatever, teenage to young adult Gaara versus whatever seasoned Crocodile, because he is obviously
right.
So go ahead though, guys, somebody take it away. What do you think?
I don't know, man.
Gaara can control sand.
I think Gaara takes it. Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up.
We jumped on the gun. We're right there. I was just gonna say almost the opposite. Like Gaara can control sand, but Crocodile is sand, and I would not say that just because Gaara can control sand doesn't mean he's Magneto for sand, and automatically he can just like destroy Crocodile with his ability. If anything, I would say flip it around. Crocodile takes it. Like there's nothing Gaara can do to him.
Yeah.
Any sand he throws at Crocodile, he's just like, that's just me now. I don't care what you do.
It's hard to say, because can't Gaara just like envelope him in a tidal wave of sand and just kind of like seal him into a fucking ball and smash him in there and just
crush a Logia.
I mean, but with
you can
chakra now.
Yeah, we got the chakra rule there. The chakra.
No, I'm not even saying that. Like, I'm just saying like, how.
Yeah, it's a hard.
Crocodile can
weird line
turn
to
into
draw.
Sand. Like, what do you mean crush him? Like he's just gonna not be there. Crush him with what? Crush him with himself.
So you're saying So you're saying that Gaara can only attack Crocodile with physical attacks? Like, I think it's a little,
for Crocodile. Like Crocodile would do his.
Not super consistent to say that he can imbue his attacks with the chakra in a way that would let him affect Crocodile with his sand attacks.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair.
That's fine.
I'm saying
think
the
Nick
tidal
is like
wave,
slightly
if you just
disagreeing
tidal
where
wave
he's saying
hold on,
if he
hold on,
engulfs him in the
okay.
sand coffin,
Eagle go, yes.
he's just going to disperse.
Well, but on the flip side, I'm saying like if Crocodile attacks Gaara, why can't Gaara just control the attack and divert it? You know what I mean? Like, how would they even fight each other? How would they even hit each other?
I mean, it's the same thing as Alibaba versus Natsu, really. Like, it's really tough to when they're the same element that can kind of like control each other or whatever. But you gotta.
Crocodile can really only control the sand that he creates.
Yeah, but that's the same thing for Gaara. But I think Crocodile has
Gaara can control all sand.
Oh, Gaara can control the sand that his sand is in contact with because that's how he makes more sand. He just pushes in sand through the dirt, creating more sand.
Yeah,
that's right.
He controls that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, breaks.
If anything, Gaara has a pool of chakra that he can like a gas tank. He can go down.
Yes.
Crocodile has
There's no
gas tank.
There's no gas tank.
On top of that, like he also has his poison.
He also he has the poison hook, and he has
it off and it's the knife.
And he has the right hand, like the awakening. Some people say, where in his right hand where he can suck all the moisture out of something.
Well, so what's that really gonna do to sand armor?
Right. But if he can get through to, because this is still a regular human body that Gaara has. Underneath all of his defenses and underneath all of his whatever, if Gaara or if Crocodile can get through that at any point in time in the fight and touch Gaara's true body with that hand, he can do what he did to Luffy to Gaara.
Yeah, Snoody's got a good point though. Sand armor, like even against the poison knife, like Luffy just smashes the knife on the ground and breaks it, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't even know if it can get through sand armor, to be honest. Like Rock Lee's punching it at like fucking speed of fucking sound punches right in his shit, and it's just cracking it. You know, he's taking a little bit of concussive damage, but like if he would have took that punch without that sand armor, he'd just, be done. One shot.
Just wouldn't have a head.
Well, and that's not to mention the sand that reacts automatically as a shield for Gaara.
See, but he doesn't have Shikaku.
He doesn't have Shikaku anymore. Yeah,
that was Shikaku doing it. So he has to use chakra to manipulate it at this point, and that's. It's because it's a weird line to draw, I guess, a little bit though, because Gaara is stronger with Shikaku, but only because the story has progressed and Gaara has gotten stronger. Not that actually if Gaara kept Shikaku that whole time, he would have been stronger with it, but it's just that you got to take the strongest form of both stories, I think, and that's without Shikaku, where he does have to manipulate it, but he's manipulating a lot of sand in a huge mass scale. Like, he defended his whole fucking village from being blown up by Netero. Like, put a whole like cone of fucking sand, like a sand shield around the whole thing. Like, that's...
He did the Julius Nova Chrono.
Would you say that Crocodile, when he does, what is it? Sabless is like is the whirlwind, right? But what is the one where he like
Sables is the sand saber. That's like the claw.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. When he like
attack.
he like cuts the sand.
Yeah.
Like what is he doing? Is he moving the sand or is he obliterating the sand from existence?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think I know what that is.
You know the ability I'm talking about? Like he goes like and it just like
cuts. He cuts with
like a big valley of the sand just like removes.
In the ground, it just opens up too.
The ground just opens up.
Yeah.
Like, what is he doing there?
I don't know.
Like he's manipulating it and just moving it aside.
Just moving it like
I can't.
I don't know either.
Yo, Oda, hit us up.
Yeah. Shit, Oda might not even remember. He's got to go to the wiki to remember what his people do.
That's a good fucking question.
But man, I don't know, dude. Fucking this is the hardest. I feel like this is the hardest matchup for me to think about.
This is very difficult
this time because it's like, and you want to know what, dude? Death Battle did this already, and I mean, fuck Death Battle.
What?
But Death Battle did Gaara versus Crocodile.
Oh, they didn't do Gaara versus Crocodile. They did Gaara versus Toph, which was
they did Gaara versus Toph from Avatar. Yeah.
I just can't stand Buddy's voice. I can't watch it.
Boomstick.
Hard pass.
Hey guys, we're gonna do the thing, and it's
get her done. We got Toph from Avatar: Last Airbender, and we got Gaara from Naruto.
Nick was talking about Desert Spada.
Desert Spada.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. Thank you, Eagle.
Yeah.
So another thing that we haven't mentioned at all is that Gaara is a ninja and he uses sand clones. Like that's really tough.
That's
like the
too.
deception that he would use against Crocodile might be too much to deal with, you know. But I don't know. Have we ever seen a Logia use a clone? Nah, I don't really think so. Robin's the only clone user I think we've ever seen.
Not Logia.
Yeah, dude, why don't they use more clones?
That's a good question. Why the fuck don't they use clones? Perfect ability to just start using clones out of nowhere, but
imagine you're going to go fucking like bear hug a Kainu, and he just turns and it's just lava splashes you.
Granted, that is one of the most infuriating parts of Naruto, is that every time somebody gets punched, they turn into a pile of mud. Like that shit is, is anybody gonna get hit in this show? Please.
Mud, some log, maybe some leaf.
I don't know. I just want to say that Gaara takes it, just because like I don't know what Crocodile like. I think like so you have to think about like what the killing. You have to think about what the killing blow would be. You know what I mean? And I just don't see how Crocodile kills him. I can't envision him killing him.
I can't see how Crocodile hits Gaara. Given that he can pretty much any attack Crocodile does, he can just kind of like control the attack. It wouldn't be controlling. I don't think Gaara could control Crocodile's sand body, but I think he can control any attack that Crocodile sent at him made of sand. And on the flip side, because I of the rule I definitely agree with, that like Gaara quote unquote has haki, aka chakra in this whatever, that he can hurt Crocodile. So like it's very difficult for me to see how Crocodile could win here.
Crocodile is gonna get baited by Gaara with sand clones, and he's gonna get punched in the back, and he's gonna get a hole punched in his back.
The ninja point is a good point.
The ninja point, I think, is the deciding factor here.
Gaara is far less arrogant and far less like
that too.
Well, I mean, I don't know if backstabs is like a super deciding factor. Crocodile has like the effortless, instinctual Logia shit. Like even if a backstrike is coming, I guess though if it's imbued with
maybe
chakra, he can't just
makes a hole. The punch goes right through a hole, and he disperses.
And you want to know what? And you want to know what, dude? You want to know what, dude?
On that kind of curry
well,
shit.
Crocodile's gonna have observation haki anyway, so at the very least, he has like some semblance of like a spidey sense there. Whether he's seeing into the future or not, like he can sense incoming danger to some degree. So,
well, it's the instinctual, like the thing with Logia is where they get so tuned into using their fruit and the intangibility that they can do it without even thinking about it.
Right, but that
he doesn't even really have to
observation haki though.
But but think about Virgo versus Smoker. Gaara can just punch the sand with the chakra punch and hurt him.
Yeah, that's right.
Like I mean,
but see, like Smoker is like Smoker is an expansive fighting style. Like he has
Crocodile, we've never seen him really expand himself.
Yeah, he like Smoker is like a prime example of like the kind of Logia user you don't want to be versus Haki, because he uses a very movement style, disperse and like regroup kind of like fighting style. But like,
I feel like Crocodile did that a little bit. He disappeared when Luffy was trying to punch him, and he reappears and sticks a fucking knife right in, or the hook right in him. Like, so I mean,
but I mean, like he doesn't turn into a cloud. He doesn't turn into a cloud. He doesn't turn into a huge cloud. He doesn't get big. And like, you're right. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's
that he just kind of turns into sand and goes to the ground.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a really hard fight because he had such a fucking huge environmental advantage being in the desert. Sand power. Like,
I
thought he
feel
just like faded away and then like would just appear somewhere else. Like it wasn't even like a into the ground or.
But he has that sand has to be somewhere. Like he isn't disappearing.
I think it was just floating through
the
air.
Go ahead. No, Nick, say what you got to say.
So imagine Ace. He is fire. He can become a large fire and be intangible. But a single flame is a single thing, and the same with Smoker. He is creating more smoke, moving around, but he's a single cloud.
Yes.
Crocodile is there's no such thing as a single smoke cloud. It's a bunch of individual grains
of sands
around. You know what I mean? And so like,
hell yeah.
Even if he did turn into a cyclone of sand, he is in the middle, or who knows, anywhere in that cyclone of sand.
Yeah.
And most of the sand is not him.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can grab that sand and hurt him wherever
and
he is.
guarantee that the sand you're
Right.
grabbing is his body.
It's more like when he does that, it's an attack.
Yeah.
And he's just somewhere in the attack, I feel like. You know what I mean?
that's a
Like, and
really
you could
good
say, like,
point.
okay, smoke is like little particles of smoke or whatever, but like how it has been portrayed in One Piece, you can grab the smoke because it's a thing or whatever.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I still think Gaara takes it.
I still think Gaara wins here, though.
I think still Gaara takes it.
Gaara's gonna be far like better in combat and beyond combat. There's like he has
hold on, you're cutting. Hold on, Snooty, you're cutting out like really bad. I can't even.
Damn it.
Yeah, I can't even like.
Fuck. What I was saying.
That one was weird.
That one was weird. Yeah, go ahead though.
Like I was saying, beyond just combat, like he has that great sand mausoleum where he could just wrap him up and then just seal him in there, and they don't even have to fight. It's just gonna be left there, and he's gonna leave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sand coffin.
Sand coffin.
Sand burial.
Yeah.
That doesn't. Yeah, I agree though. I mean, it's such a hard line to draw to say that like if you imbue, like if Gaara imbues his sand with chakra, which it is because that's how he's controlling it. You know, that could he like just create some kind of cocoon or whatever fucking ball that he just mashed him up. I wouldn't want to go there. I do agree that with the ninja abilities, with like deception and just strategy. Like I won't say that Crocodile's not strategic because he definitely is, and he's definitely got a lot of like I mean he's an older dude. He definitely has got a lot of battles under his belt. Like he's definitely earned his spot.
Over a whole like country overnight.
Yeah.
It's just hard to see Gaara's just going to be, I think he's faster. I think he has all the stats I feel like are in Gaara's favor, you know? So, and deception on top of it, and sand clones and baiting him and, whatever. And I still think, okay, you're right that Crocodile disperses in a different way than like Smoker or
Ace.
Ace. But either way, if you were to punch a body and you saw the body disperse in front of you, you could still probably hit particles by you and probably damage before it actually
assimilated into a bigger cloud of sand that wasn't a part of him. Yeah, sure.
Definitely.
So I think Gaara wouldn't miss the opportunity.
Yeah,
correct.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
I think we're all Gaara, right? We're all going Gaara here.
I'm saying Gaara.
Yeah, I'd say Gaara.
What about you, Eagle?
It's a close one.
It's a close
Gaara
one
right away.
Yeah, Gaara. Okay,
Yeah.
You did say Gaara right away. Okay,
He
cool.
did say it like 2 seconds in the conversation.
Yeah, he did. Okay, well, let us know how you.
Eagle's cheating.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section there. Let us know if you agree, disagree, what any kind of comments you have on that fight. I feel like that one's pretty close. Let us know how you feel about that. Going into the next matchup here. All right, Nick, what do you got next?
All right. Next, I think I got a fun one here.
Okay.
Ooh.
So this one is Bruno Bucciarati from JoJo Part 5 versus Buggy the Clown.
Bugums.
Buggy D Clown, huh?
Buggy D Clown.
So what's my reasoning behind this pick? So for those who don't know, Bruno, his stand ability is Sticky Fingers,
Sticky Finger!
Zipper Man in the English translation.
I'm looking it up right now because I'm not that far in JoJo, so I'm gonna.
That's
I'm gonna try
fine.
my best here, but I might let y'all go ahead and take the take the.
But basically, his ability is zipping and unzipping things. So, for example, he could like unzip your arm off. Or he could like attach two things together with a zipper. Yeah. Or this is JoJo, so
he can travel through solid objects.
Yes, so he can like unzip a wall and kind of like keep unzipping solid space, and then eventually pop out in another side of the wall and unzip and come out. So he can kind of like teleport through. It's not like an instant teleport. It'd be like moving through solid objects using zippers. Meanwhile, Buggy, he can detach himself, the Barabara no Mi.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is a very interesting fight. You know what I mean? Like, how play out?
I mean, just based off what you just explained of Bruno, I feel like Buggy is gonna disconnect, and then Bruno's just gonna put them back together, and like Buggy doesn't have the ability to do that to him in reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
So-
But I
And sticky
So
fingers just
Sticky Fingers is going to keep him from using
So-
Buggy's ability, and then Buggy's not going to have a way to counter that.
So in terms of Sticky Fingers as a stand, like I think we might need to add a rule here.
Yeah.
So like as we added a rule with Gaara versus Crocodile,
Yeah.
and how Gaara can hit Crocodile with hockey, quote unquote, aka chakra, whatever.
Yeah.
But now, so I don't know if it necessarily matters for the outcome of this fight, but can Buggy see Sticky Fingers? Usually only stand users can see
Yeah.
stand.
Oh,
I think
sure.
we have to
yeah.
say-
So you'd have to
So
be able
can
to
we
say that
say
you can
that-
see it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because if
can
he's
we
just
say
fighting
that-
an invisible foe, then it's like,
Yeah.
the
Right.
fuck?
Well, and if
He
you're in
thinks
One
he's
Piece, I
fighting
say,
Bucciarati and just gets clocked in his fucking jaw from
But
3 o'clock. It's
it is kinda like an
but if you
ability.
either way, so say Buggy doesn't have hockey, which we don't have confirmation on. We'll say he
Right.
doesn't have hockey,
really don't,
and but if he has a devil, I feel like if you have a devil fruit or a hockey, we should say you can see stands, right? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
You
have
are-
magic, you can see magical things.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
definitely.
Something
So
I feel
keep-
like
keep
will
going,
throw
yeah.
Buggy off in this fight. I think it's possible that, like, I want to say if Bruno, you guys are saying like if he tries to separate, Bruno can, Bucciarati can like zip him back together. But I think if Bucciarati unzips Buggy, can he reconnect himself using his ability? I don't know, because I think Sticky Fingers is preventing that. So if
Yeah.
he
Yeah, probably.
disconnects
Wow.
his torso, he tries to reconnect, but it's just he can't.
Now let me say why I think he can reattach it. Now, and here is the one ability that Buggy has that Bruno doesn't have. When Buggy detaches his parts,
He has a psionic control.
he
of,
can telekinetically
Yeah.
move them.
Yeah.
Bruno
Yep.
can't do that. So even though Buggy is like 20 parts, 100 parts, he can move them around like projectile objects.
inside of
you know what I
his
mean?
proximity.
And so
So-
even if he can't attach them physically, like glue
He
them
can keep
together,
them close together.
exactly.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he
Doesn't
can.
keep him-
go ahead,
Snooty, what are you
Shooty.
saying? Yeah.
I was just gonna say, even if he doesn't keep him close together, then he could just like say, "Oh well, fuck it," and then just keep attacking the way he does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and he can split himself. Okay, and this is, I don't want to go too far to say like what would be tight about Buggy if he ever happened in One Piece to like almost break down like on a molecular level that
Right.
small and be able to
Right.
attack you. But obviously we can't say that. But I would just say
Right.
he breaks down into a lot of pieces, right? Like it'd be really hard for Bruno to put him back together, whereas Buggy can come in with a little knife foot, with a
Yeah,
knife sticking out the
yeah,
foot,
yeah,
or a little
Buggy bomb.
fucking hands
Or the
coming.
Buggy bomb,
That's the
yeah.
thing. I wanted to save that because Buggy bomb is, I feel like, what separates this. If Bruno gets hit with a Buggy bomb, he's out of there, right? Like that
I
blows
would
up a
assume
town.
so.
That blows up a whole city, right? Like so.
Right.
Well,
But maybe Bruno
Josh
can
is
just
like, no,
unzip
fuck
a
that.
hole.
He's like, no.
So maybe but maybe
you act like he's gonna let him set up on a fucking cannon and hit him with the. Are we
no,
talking
no,
about
no, 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 no.
The
Buggy
pistol
balls. No, out of his
the
foot.
foot, the foot.
Out of the foot. Out of the hole in the
Okay,
foot.
yeah,
He
yeah,
spits
okay.
out the Buggy ball right at the hole of the foot. But not only that, but maybe Bucciarati can
I thought you guys were
open a
talking
fucking.
about the one we saw in the Orange Town big.
No, not the
No,
cannon.
no,
No, not the
Like, he's
cannon.
not letting him set up on that shit.
Yeah, no.
But maybe Bucciarati can like open up like a hole to where the bomb goes in it, like just opening up a fucking,
Oh yeah, he could
unzipping
definitely
a hole.
unzip. He could unzip his
Sticky
chest
fingers.
and open it up and go straight through. He could
and
open up a
even
hole in
just
the
like
ground
walls, so it
and just.
doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
doesn't explode near him even, and he doesn't get hit with.
He could
like,
do a Zoro.
collateral damage.
Bruno could do a Zoro and unzip the cannonball in two as it's coming past
Yeah.
him. Easy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But Buggy, whenever I think of Buggy in terms of combat prowess, I think of the Whitebeard War, and where Mihawk literally was like, "I'm going to obliterate you," and he like goes, and Buggy just becomes like a potato chips, you know what I mean? In terms of potato.
Just
And
slivers.
he's totally fine. And it's like
Potato
it's
chips.
unconscious, it's
Yeah.
subconscious. He
Yeah.
just splits, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he just it's not like Buggy knew there was 100 slashes and just split himself up.
Yeah.
It's an innate ability that he cannot be cut, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So like it's hard for me to imagine besides the punch ghost of Sticky Fingers, the stand, like how does Bruno actually hurt Buggy?
I think the
what you're
unzipping
saying-
has a different effect than a cut. I think that's going to do
Sure.
damage to him.
Yeah.
Sure.
Buggy can get his
I
ass
mean-
beat.
Yeah, Buggy can get his ass beat. That's
no. Punching works against Buggy.
Yeah, definitely. Any concussive force definitely works.
Yeah, and that is what the stands do at the end of the day.
Yeah, punching.
But okay, so like on the reverse here, obviously you have to ask. We ask this question every matchup. Like you think about the killing blow on both sides. What is Buggy?
Right.
How does Buggy beat Bruno?
A knife, a buggy ball.
Yeah, buggy bomb.
Yeah, because you don't really need too much to kill a JoJo's character. The biggest problem is getting past the stand. If you know where the stand's at, then it's not really a big hurdle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you can hurt the stand. If you hurt the stand, it hurts the user.
Yeah.
So there's actually a lot of ways for Buggy to hurt Bruno.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I still think it's with some kind of deception and like a fucking.
I think so too. I think it's a hand
foot knife in the back.
Yeah,
or a knife or a whatever. A foot with a knife sticking out of it, or some 3 fucking knives in your hand. Whatever,
basically like how he did Zoro.
Exactly.
Dude,
R.I.P.
R.I.P. the Buggy force choke.
Oh yeah.
That's. I mean,
what happened to that? What happened to that, bro?
That doesn't remind
really
me.
Make sense.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that's anime only, isn't it?
I don't remember.
I don't remember
because like I think in the anime there was a scene where like someone was being choked and there was no hand there.
Oh yeah.
But then in the manga, like obviously he detached his hand and like floated it over and like choked it.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. As in it just censored basically. I mean,
maybe it was just censored. Maybe that was that for kids.
That's not for kids.
No.
The anime, Toei did censor a few things. Like you never get to see Luffy stab himself in the face. When he's trying to prove himself in shape.
That's right.
Yeah, they never explained that.
And you never get to see Zeph eat his leg neither. Like,
true.
Yep.
There's a few things that are
gets cut off by a fucking anchor chain.
Only thing they did right
he smashes it with the rock and eats the bitch.
Yeah.
In the actual canon, but in the anime, it gets cut off with an anchor chain.
I will say though that how I understand Buggy's ability to work, he could peel off a 1 molecule thick layer of his hand and force choke someone with that layer. You know what I mean? You wouldn't be able to see it. You would not be able to see it, but he could choke someone. I'm not saying he did that, but I think theoretically he could do that.
That'd be so
Right,
crazy.
he's doing that. So he's just breaking down to molecular form.
And now this is now this is a
Take that
theory
slice.
that like Kiko has like had with Buggy for years now.
For
he's like
years,
he's like, man, Buggy could just like break down, onto the subatomic like particle level.
Osmosis.
Go into your lungs
go into your lungs and
But I'm not
Beat
saying
that ass from the inside.
leaving those aside.
Yeah.
I actually am very torn about who would win here.
I mean,
I don't want to say Buggy because Buggy has no W's. Buggy doesn't have a single W.
And I don't want to shortchange Buggy in the ways of ruthlessness, even though he's a gag character and you don't really get to see that he's actually really probably as ruthless. But like all JoJo characters will kill the fuck out of you immediately. JoJo characters don't play for 1 fucking second. Like it's serious from the jump, from the fucking first millisecond. So it's like it's hard to just the fact that Buggy's a gag character for me to say he's gonna beat fucking Bucciarati. Like he's just gonna somehow pop out of the floor and just
And I think because Bruno has the stand, I think that's a really huge advantage. You know what I mean? Like Buggy, whatever Buggy does besides the buggy bomb, he does have to come in close. And Sticky Fingers is easily capable of hitting away
dealing
any
with
attacks.
him when he's up close.
Dealing with those.
Yeah. So if it comes down to the buggy bomb, dude, Buggy can't win this. With a buggy bomb?
The buggy bomb is like his thing, but buggy bomb has improved, but it just depends how Bucciarati, because hey man, I feel like it's like damn near atomic level now. It's just gonna blow up a whole city, right? Like I don't know,
man.
Like
but I think Bruno could avoid it.
Can avoid it. That's the
kind
key,
of like almost go through the ground and teleport
away.
Such
a cool like concept for a fight,
really
but it's just
is.
like it's Buggy.
Like
you know what I mean?
I almost got to Bruno just not pick Buggy.
Like I can't.
Buggy could be so much better.
I know, like I can't.
Wanted him to be.
I can't bring myself to fuck with Buggy, dog. Like,
yeah.
like Buggy's not.
Snooty, what do you think, Snooty?
Yeah, what's good?
See, I want to say Buggy because of the Buggy bomb, and because like I'm not the biggest JoJo fan, but like the way, but like when you think about it, if he uses sticky fingers and he tries to like seal everything up, Buggy could just detach from that. Like he could detach like the top part of the zipper and the bottom part of the zipper and just keep on pushing. And I mean, there's a limited amount of times he could do that, but like I feel like any time in between that, I feel like Bucciarati is just going to be too busy dealing with like knives and shit coming from all corners.
Yeah. Wow.
And then there's also the Buggy bomb, which blows up cities.
Yeah.
I mean, Eagle, what do you think?
I think I just give it to Buggy as much as
Snooty gives it to Buggy.
As much of a literal clown that man is, I gotta give it to Buggy.
I was leaning on Bucciarati, but I think Snooty sold me. I'm gonna go with Buggy on this one.
Bugum-sama.
He said knives coming out of every direction.
Yeah, every direction. Knives, Gatling.
It's like every direction. The man's only got 4 extremities.
That's every direction.
Knox, what
every direction that
matters. I mean, I don't know, dude. I feel like I already said like I can't fuck with Buggy, but now you guys are making it. Now you guys are making it sound a little bit better. But like, okay, so like, what's the killing blow for Bruno on Buggy?
He just beat the shit out of him.
He's
beat the shit out of him.
Whoop his ass.
Yeah.
I
choose
jump
Bruno.
out of a wall on him. He's gonna jump out of a wall on him, which is
Bruno.
the thing.
I choose Bruno.
I'm also gonna choose Bruno here because JoJo characters are also notorious for being super strategic.
Yeah. And Buggy's just like doesn't have the intellect. I feel like.
Right.
He's gonna come out of a wall, like Kiko said. He's gonna hit him with that like a da, and then he's gonna have that typical fucking JoJo's dialogue where he's like, "I'm about to murder your bitch ass right now."
Buggy a win, damn it.
Buggy, bro. Buggy. Vegeta will get a win before Buggy.
Bucciarati will lick fucking Buggy's face and beat his ass at the same time.
Hey, look, don't sleep on the buggers now. He was on the Pirate King's crew.
Okay, bro. He was on the Pirate King's crew, though. That's true. That's true life. Okay, so Bruno for me, Nickums, and Kiko. No, Kiko said Buggies.
Yeah, I'll stay with Buggy. That's fine.
And Snooty says Buggums.
Even though, like, I sold myself against myself.
And then Eagle says Bruno.
All
right, hit us in the comments, man.
Yeah,
Let us know.
This is the most conflicted we've been, I think.
I think this is the most conflicted. Yeah, I think this is a 2-3 split.
Man.
Very interesting matchup.
Super interesting matchup. Absolutely.
Like, I never would have thought about that.
Hell yeah. Okay.